Hello, and welcome back into Wenzel's World. And I've got a yawbo I want to go over with you today. Had a package come in the mail. One of the viewers of the channel, and I'll not call his name, he's not a presenter and don't have any permission to announce his name, but he sent me some tobacco. I thought maybe I'd want to sample some of it and enjoy it. And I've never had any tobacco from this place. Maybe you can see what it is right there. Okay, and in case you didn't, and I really can't tell what it looks like when I put it up there. Milan Tobacconist. And it's a place at 309 South Jefferson Street, Roanoke, Virginia. And I've been to Roanoke, been by there on the interstate several times, headed up into West Virginia. And also, I've preached in Roanoke a couple of 3 times or so, 3 times, I guess, twice in one day and once on another occasion. So I know where Roanoke is, but I've never been to the Milan Tobacconists. So we sent this gentleman, the viewer of the channel, sent 3 different samples here, 3 different, an ounce each, 3 ounces, and each one's different. This one here is called Sunset Rum. And then another one here is called Honey Smoke. Okay, from the same place. And then the last one from Milan Tobacconists is called Reflections. And I've chosen this one this afternoon to sample with you. And another viewer of the channel, and I just remembered I didn't get something I needed over here. But another viewer of the channel asked me to show how I pack a pipe. And I tell you how I'm going to pack this. I tell you what it reminds me of whenever I smell it. Of course, you can tell I've done opened up the package and got it out. So anyway, and I've already smelt of them. So I'm going to smell of this one again. And I tell you what it reminds me of, a particular blend I've had in the past called Missouri Malta. And so it's got the vanilla or malt flavor. Really, it's more of a malt flavor and maybe leaning toward chocolate malt, a mild chocolate aroma, a malt, very malty aroma also. So and it's called Reflections. So then, and another thing too, people's been wanting to look at the Bible cover that I've made for this man to go on this Bible, and I don't have it finished. But somebody told me they wanted to watch me buff it. Well, if you'll hold on a minute, I'll just pause this and we'll come back. Let's see, how do I do that? Okay, we're starting up again. I take it. I can't see those numbers. Yeah. Okay, so here it is. This is the Bible cover. Of course, you know, it had a hardback cover. Of course, you can tell by the corner of the pages are not rounded. That's how they do hardbacks. They don't round them off. They make just that corner to it like that. And anyway, we got that going on. I got one more piece. I've got the glue on the inside in here. And this is how it looks if you can see it on the outside. That's what he wanted printed on it. Some of you know why that's on there, and some of you don't know, and some probably don't care. But anyway, and so then I got my maker's mark on the back of it. So I still had to do the double loop stitch around there, lacing it. I had to lace it in that particular style of lacing, what's called a double loop stitch. So I'll probably try to show that. But I got it over and got it buffed. Yes, they buffed it. And let's see, I need something to. And all I do when I buff it, see, it got a little thin right in there. Right in there. Okay. So then I put some more of this here stain on it. It's a stain with a wax in it. So I put a little bit more of that on it this morning. So let's see what it does to it. And all I do is just rub it. I don't have no kind of buffing machine. Most of what I do is all hand tools, all my sewing. It's all by hand. It's what's called a saddle stitch. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that'll pass. I think that there's got that now where it ain't. Okay. It probably wouldn't hurt to have a little bit more of that on there. Yeah, well, we can tend to that later. But that's all you do to buff it thing. You just take and go over it like that. So anyhow, well, we'll pause and go back to the reflections here in a moment. Okay, back again with the pipe in this particular blend here. Okay, now somebody want to know how I went about packing this. How can I? Let's see. All right, I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set this right here, and I'm going to take it for granted that this is going to promote tongue bite. It's going to cause tongue bite. Okay, so if I think it's going to cause that, and it really reminds me of that Missouri Malta blend, which bites my tongue. Maybe not yours, but mine. And everybody's different. So then what I'm going to do then, I'm going to take this here pipe cleaner, stick it in this pipe, and this particular corn cob, along with the stem and some filters, were gifted to me by Smoke Snacks, Garrett and Katie. So then I'm going to stick this in there all the way through the bowl. You won't be able to tell it's all the way through, but it is. And I'm going to pack it, and there's no way to. I'm gonna do it lightly. I know I put a wad in there, and this is a ribbon cut, and it is moist too. Okay, alrighty. Reflections is the name of this blend, and that's what we're going to do here in a moment. Reflect. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna see, and I got a filter in it, so it's gonna not draw as freely as it would if I didn't. But I guarantee you, whether you can hear that or not, air goes through that. Now let's see how much resistance we have. The way I packed that. Okay. All right. Well, we'll experiment. So that's how I'll go about packing it. Okay, so ever who the viewer was, sir, I'm sorry that I don't remember. Well, I wouldn't call your name anyway. It wasn't a presenter. Any presenters, they're out in public anyway. I mean, they got a public channels and everything. So anybody that's a viewer, I'm not going to call your name in case you wouldn't want it called or anything. Some people don't even use their name. They use something else, ragtag or something other. That's mild. Very mild. I'm gonna move that just a little bit. I thought it would. I'd say somebody that likes the aroma of tobacco smoke, aromatic, they would like this particular aroma. Talking about, the room note. Well, here today it warmed up real nicely. And this morning when I got the fire stoked up, I noticed it wasn't as cold. I can't remember what the low was this morning. Can't remember. Had to go to the chiropractor today and do some shopping around while we were there. Every place we go, the closest town is going to be 25 miles away. And so the other towns are 35 miles away. So it ain't like going up the road. If we go up the road, which we can go up the road, but you're not going to get much. I mean, there'd be some things you'd get from the Dollar General. I mean, aren't they everywhere? I don't know what it's like where you live, but they throwing them Dollar General stores up everywhere. Well, I should have a tamper of some kind, my little creek rock, river rock. Get that ash tamped down a little bit. I know it's thick smoke. I'm trying to get it lit. I'm trying to keep it lit. So far, no tongue bite. And before I went and done all my feeding and everything, I put it in this little lid here and I tried to let it dry out a little bit. Probably needed another, I don't know, 3 hours to dry. So this particular blend from the Milan Tobacconists is called Reflections. And that's what I want to talk with you about for a moment. Reflecting, looking back. Now, I know the scriptures talk about, woe to those that take the plow, and look back and things like that. Well, not talking about turning back, talking about reminiscing, talking about being reminded, talking about lessons that we've learned. And sometimes the lessons we've learned, sometimes we have to relearn them. Got to go through something else to be reminded. And there's different things, that remind me. There's some, a lot of things we'll look back on are negative. Wish you could forget it. But if you learn something from it and it calls you to face challenges a different way with a different mindset, then in that vein of thought, then even though it was a negative thing at the time, it's had a positive effect upon you, and so on. And there's looking back and things we've learned, there's a lot of positive things like learning your ABCs, vowel sounds, history, things like that, So, it's good to reflect. And so I thought when I looked at those different blends that this that this viewer sent me. I thought you could do a video on any of those and talk about with those names that those blends are called. You could do a talk about that. So reflections. So whenever you reflect, fond memories, whenever you reflect, you ponder and think on things that's happened and you rejoice in, makes you happy, uplifting, makes you rejoice. You know, there's one episode in my life I think back on, and it happened to me the 24th of January, which was last Friday. For on January the 24th, in the year 1982, I come face to face with the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, I don't mean that I saw him. Okay, I don't mean that. You say, well, what do you mean? Well, he revealed himself to me. You say, well, what does that mean? Well, the Bible uses the word reprove, and the Bible uses the word draw. And so when the Lord revealed to me that he was ready to save me, I wasn't looking for him, but he was sure looking for me that day. And when the Lord got a hold of me, when the Lord revealed his drawing power, that it seemed like I couldn't turn him away. And when he reproved me of my sinfulness, oh, I knew what it was. I'll never forget that day. Never forget where I was, why I was there, and and the preaching and the singing and the conviction of sin. Mm. I'll never forget that day. Mm. So you know when you get to reflecting, there you can look back at some things that's been life changing. Life changing. You look back to some times that you were scared. You know, there's power in fear. I mean, you know, you get somebody feared, and it's like Wendy Bagwell said whenever he and the Sunlighters were singing in a church, and they got to handling snakes in that church. And he said to one of them singers that was with him, he said, "Where's the door?" And she said, "They don't have one." He said, "Reckon where they want one." He's going to get out of there. Fear. See, fear can cause you to do something, you know, where it makes you more stronger, run faster. So, anyway. So, whenever you reflect, what do you think about? Hope there's some good things. Well, I'm going to get off here. So, hope you enjoyed this. And I sure do appreciate you sending this here tobacco to me. And so, I hope the Lord blesses you for it. And I hope you folks are getting something out of this channel. You know, YouTube has approached me on 2 different occasions about selling advertisements for this channel. And I really don't want to do that. And the main reason I don't want to do it is because whenever they I call it interrupt. Whenever they interrupt my conversation with a commercial, you just lose all train of thought. You folks do. I don't. But you folks that view, you lose your train of thought with this commercial that's popped up. And they tell me that if I would do that, that I would get more subscribers. So if you like what you see and you think somebody else might want to watch, tell them about the channel, okay? Because I really don't want to change things from the way they are. So to those of you that view and get something out of the channel, then I'm glad that you do. And until we meet again, adios.